Good morning, April 11th, okay? So it's, what the hell is today's date? The 29th? 30 days has September, April, May, and November. All the rest is 31. So there's 31 days in March. So it's the 29th. So 30, 31, plus 11 days in April, but the 11th day you don't count. So 10 days in April and 12. 12 days. 12 days. You're like, what? What the hell is April 11th? No more lisping. Races come off April 11th. Out of here. It's been 22 months, 21 months, and they were supposed to come off back in like November, and here it is going into April. But my bottom teeth, we could not get it right. They were crowding. They kept crowding and crowding and crowding. No matter what, she pulled the tooth forward, it would go forward even more. She pulled the tooth back, it'd go back even more. Finally, we pulled the tooth up, and then whoop, fixed it. And now it's been about a month, and I can bite. Like, I couldn't even bite into a peanut butter and jelly sandwich without feeling like my teeth were loose, like they were shifting for the longest time down here. And it was like I was scared to bite, and like a roast beef sandwich or something, you know, something that you can easily bite through but has a little bit of bite to it. Like when you make barbecue ribs, you don't want them mushy and you don't want them tough. You want your teeth to go through, but there's a little bit of bite there. I feel like my damn bottom teeth are going to get pulled out on the bite, you know, on the release or whatever. And yeah, so now for a little over a month now that we've had it fixed, I've been able to eat freaking food, and it's been, you know, pretty normal for me. So yeah, thank goodness. I wanted to update the interbridge rule, the interbridge law, and stuff like that. And what I said one thing that was wrong, so let's fix that right now. The Class B trucks are not subject to interbridge unless they have enough axles to make an interbridge. Okay, so if you just have a steer axle and then, you know, your rear tandems, you're not subject to interbridge with the Florida law, like I was saying, because I don't think you're going to find a tandem dump truck or many tandems that are going to have a wheelbase of 36 feet. All right, you got to be 36 feet. An example of that, to show you how difficult getting to 36 feet is, my trailer interbridge with my drive axles on my tractor is 28 feet. So from my front axle of my rear axles right here, the forward axle, the drive tires, the forward drive axle, the center of that to the center of the last axle on my trailer is only 28 feet. So you'd have to go another 8 feet to get 36 feet. I'm not sure you're going to find too many tandems or single axle straight jobs that'll fit that. But if you do, then you have to have the axles to do interbridge. So I gave you bad information when I said that like the tandem dump trucks are subject to interbridge and outer bridge. They're not, unless they get to they're over 36 feet, then they have to, okay? Or then they're eligible to be measured for interbridge, but they also have to have enough axles to count. And a steer axle and then your tandem axles is not enough to do interbridge. That's your outer bridge only. So that was wrong when I said that. Now in South Carolina, I did get a interbridge ticket for being overweight in a roll-off garbage truck, and my company fought it and won, because it wasn't actually an interbridge violation, it was an outer bridge violation. And you're always subject to outer bridge. So pretty much, I guess, regardless of whatever state you're in, you're only allowed to have a certain amount of length or a certain amount of weight according to the length of your vehicle. So you got to pay attention to that. But I got more clarification on interbridge for an 18-wheeler or a combination vehicle like what I drive on the interstate in Florida, so going to the Florida scale. So If you're a rock wagon or, you know, you're hauling sand or rock or whatever, they call us dump wagons, and you're running like Florida, you're running down to Titan, or you're running down to C-Max, or you're running down to this place, Vulcan, Keystone and Vulcan and all that, then you need to know that if you're going to run on the interstate, there's 3 criteria that have to be met when you go through the scale in order to be eligible to be weighed for your interbridge to check for violation. The first criteria is you must be on the interstate. That's number 1. So if you're not on the interstate, you're not susceptible to the interbridge violation law, weight law. All right, they're only going to get you for outer bridge. In my case, I'm 43 feet. 43 feet, I could be 75,000 pounds. All right. My partner, one of my co-workers, has the exact same truck as me, the exact same trailer as me, but he's got his fifth wheel slid back, and he's 44 feet. Because they round to the nearest foot. So he might be just over 43 and a half, and I might be just under 43 and a half. So I'm 43, he's 44, he could be 75.5. I can only be 75. I'm not moving my fifth wheel, I like it exactly where it is. I don't like my front end floating when I'm loaded. I don't like it all the way back like that. I like it up a little bit more, put a little bit more weight on my steering. Especially when we're loaded and we're leaving a rock yard, a sand yard or whatever, and it's a little bit wet out, and you know, you got your front end kind of floating a little bit, you don't have enough weight on it, the drive tires will just drive you straight and turn the wheel to try to turn it, and you keep pushing forward. So I like a little bit more weight on my front end, and I'm not violating the 12,000 pound axle. So your first rule is you can't be over, or you have to be on the interstate. That's number 1. The second rule is you have to be at least 36 feet long. So if you're not 36 feet long, your outer bridge, your overall length, which is your forward axle, your drive axle, your steer axle, the center of your steer axle to the very last axle on your vehicle, regardless of the vehicle, you have to be 36 feet or more. So you got to be on the interstate, you got to be 36 feet or more. And of that 36 feet, you have to have enough axles in order to check interbridge, which means I don't see how you have to be in a combination vehicle unless you're in a straight job that has like the 2 front axles. Then I guess you could do interbridge, you know, like a crane, some trucks like that, like things like that, I guess. A little bit more verification needs to be obtained on that. But as far as 18-wheelers are concerned, you got to be 36 feet. You got to be on the interstate. All right, that's 2. Number 3, you got to be over 73,500 pounds. So if you're not over 73,500 pounds, but you are over 36 feet, and you are on the interstate, then you're not susceptible to interbridge. So when I leave the rock yard down here, I leave just under 73,500, I can take the interstate. Because I'm over 36 feet, I'm actually 43, and I'm on the interstate, but I'm not 73,500. So every time I go past the scale, they still pull me in, and then they make me stop, and then they, you know, because a moving scale is going to give them the ballpark. I guess it's probably not 100% accurate, but the moving scale also knows, you know, it's got the cameras, it's got the sensors, it's got the scale on the ground, and when you go over it, it knows when you started and when you stopped, and the computer, I guess, will spit out real fast, hey, this truck was only 40-something feet, weighing 70-something thousand pounds, and the computer says, whoop, pull them in. So, you know, it's all done by computer, I guess, and, you know, you go in, and then you are done, you know, then a person gets you onto the scale, gives you the green light to get on the scale, they hold you, they check the total weight, and then they let you go. So 36 feet or more, you got to be on the interstate, and you got to be over 73,005. So that was something we weren't 100% sure of, so now we know. So when I go there, I can only be 75,000 anyways. So it's not like, oh man, you're leaving freaking 6,000 pounds on the ground. No, I can only be 75,000 pounds in the state of Florida on any road other than the interstate. So I'm only leaving 1,500 pounds on the ground, maybe 2,000 pounds, but that 2,000 pounds is saved in me not taking back roads and going through the back scale. When I go on the interstate, I can squeeze in another load. So that actually gets 20,000 pounds, or 20 tons, 40,000 pounds more on the ground. Another 20 tons, you know, I tell them 21 and a half tons, 22 tons, depending on where I'm at for fuel. And then when I get onto the scale at Vulcan, if I'm a little bit too heavy, I just pull over to the power real quick, open my tailgate, raise my box up a little bit, bounce the tailgate, let a few hundred pounds come out, get back on the scale, get my ticket and go. I get on the interstate and I can haul ass back up to Kingsland or Vulcan. Now, if I'm only going to the Jacksonville plant, then I don't really have to worry too much about my weight unless DOT pulls me over. I still tell them 22 and a half at the most, but unless DOT pulls me over and breaks out the scales, I'm literally only going 10 miles. They won't let me out of the Keystone plant over 77,000 pounds. So they'll say I think 77,000 is the highest that Keystone will let me out. Being 5-axle, that Vulcan will let me out. Vulcan's in Keystone. So I know that was something that she was like, oh, you're too heavy. But if you got a full-length trailer, they'll let you out. But she can see on the camera you got a short trailer. She knows you can't be running 80,000 pounds in the state of Florida. And those weightmasters, you know, they're certified weightmasters, and they go through ethics and stuff like that. They have to pay attention to. So, yep, there is that. So that's something I wanted to touch base with you guys on, and get clarification. So those are the rules. That's the Florida rules. Now, when I stopped and I talked to Georgia DOT at the Georgia scale house, they said Florida does their own thing and they follow the FMCSA rule, which is the federal guidelines for weight. And I said, okay, where do I find that? And they said FMCSA. I said, okay, FMCSA is pretty damn big. Where do I find a chart or something that's easily referenced? And they were like, yeah, you just do a Google search. So I tried, and I tried, and I tried. And I can't find the information that's black and white like I could find the information that was black and white in Florida. So it figures Georgia just sucks bud, and Florida rocks on. So, anyways, yeah, it's early. It's 7:37. We did a load of sand this morning from CMEX in Jessup, Georgia, to Brunswick. Put a load of sand down, and I was first one at the gate this morning, a little bit after 5. Left there a little bit after 6. Loaded, dropped it off, and now it's 7:35. And we are almost to the Florida line. This is exit 1 right here, Georgia line. Exit 1. So we're 1 mile from the Florida-Georgia line. And in a little bit, we'll be at Vulcan going to try to pull 3 loads of rock today back up to Brunswick. It's almost 3 hours round trip if I take 17 up and I take 95 back. But I'm going to take 95 up and 95 back and see if I can cut that down from 3 hours down to maybe 2.5 hours, because I got an appointment today at 4:30 or is it 4:45? I think it's 4:30 that I need to make, and as it stands now, I left Brunswick at 7. 3 hours would be back there at 10, back there at 1. A third trip would be back there at 4. And Brunswick's 45 minutes from Richmond Hill. So that would put me at Richmond Hill at 4:45, and then I got to fuel up and post-trip. So I wouldn't clock out till 5. I wouldn't make it to my appointment till like 5:20. So I need to try to cut an hour off of my time. And my boss said that we need to try to get as much rock on the ground as possible. So I don't want to bug out of here at 1 o'clock. You know what I mean? I don't think that would be the right thing to do. All right, let me run through this agricultural inspection real quick, and then I'll be back. All right, so yeah, it was getting warm in here. I had to take my sweater off. I had a lot of problems with this truck too. They got to fix my headlights. They're not aimed properly. One's completely cracked because a rear mixer decided they wanted to park where I was parked one Friday night. I got that call Friday night around dinner time. Sorry about your truck. God, no, dang, my window's got, like, if you pinch zoom on your device right now, if you're capable of pinch zooming, you'll see I got, like, wicked spots on my glass. It's actually, like, sandblasted. I thought it was etching from, like, somebody using acid on the shiny shit and getting it on the window, and that'll etch the glass, and that's a bad thing. But no, it's actually like sandblasted. I don't know how it happened, but it's both windows, so they got to change out my windshield. And in the dark, especially with my bad headlights and the windshield, oh gosh, man, it's kind of hellacious. But here we go. He loaded me. I asked for 21.5, and he gave me 21.58, which put me leaving Vulcan at 72,000 something. And so we're going to go through the scale now. Again, at 43 feet, I can't be any more than I'm over to 36, so I can't be any more than 73.5 for Interbridge. So if you see the green arrow up here, it's probably going to change to green this way, which it did, and they're going to want to verify now my length with my overall length with my weight, and they'll pull me onto the scale, probably the back one. Yep, the back one. And they're going to make me stop on the scale. So this is a good opportunity for you guys to see what we go through here at the scales. And there'll be separate pads for each group of axles, and I have to stop proper, so they can see each of my axle weights, and then they'll get my, well, not each axle, but each group of axle, and then get my overall weight, and then they might come out and measure me, but they probably won't. We'll see how it goes. So once this guy gets off the scale, lights should turn red. Yep, and now I'll go on the scale, and then I stop, and then I should get the green. I don't even know why they're concerned with the Interbridge weight, because I'm below the 73,000, but because, like I said, it's a moving scale, and it's not going to be 100% accurate as you go over it. I'm at 72.6, so it could have triggered 73, it could have triggered 71. But whatever it is, it triggered it's a shorty, and it's close, so bring them in. And so that's what they did. But this way is still, even doing that quick little stop right there is way faster than me taking the back county road and going up and having to stop on the scale there, because you always have to stop on the scale there every time. It's not a moving scale where you can just get the green and go. Or weigh in motion is what it's called. You have to go on and stop, just like we did here. You got to do that every time there, and then you got to deal with the traffic of the back roads and all that crap. So I'll be back to let you guys know how we're doing for time going this way. Again, we're going to try to get 3 loads in, and I want to try to end my day at 3 in the afternoon at the Brunswick plant, not 4. So I'm trying to save an hour. Normally, it's 3 hours round trip. So we have to try to beat that. Alright, that's the 4th truck I've seen. And here is the 5th truck. So we got 5 people down here, all running rock up to Brunswick. So one guy's behind me by about 10 miles. And then there's another guy that's about 45 minutes behind, and now these 2 are about an hour behind. Those 2 got a late start. They did the sand just like I did, and then they did they're doing rock. They're only going to do 2 loads of rock. See, early bird gets the worm. I'm going to get a 12-hour day, and I'm going to get 3 loads of rock plus the 1 load of sand from this morning. So I'm going to get 4 loads on the ground. So whatever. All right, I'll be back and we'll update and see how we're doing for time. Remember, I said it in the last video, laws aren't on the books to screw you, okay? If you're screwed up, then you're gonna get a citation. Laws are on the books to tell you what you can do. So if you know what you can do, then you can lean on the law, be legal, and run your business. So if you're a business owner, if you're a truck driver, an owner-operator watching this video, or an owner-operator and you own a fleet, you know, maybe 3 or 4 trucks, and you're going to ask your drivers to perform for you, and your drivers are out there, you know, doing everything they can to put material on the ground or move freight or whatever it is that they're doing, it is in your best interest to know exactly what the drivers can do and how to get away with pushing the limits as far as they can without breaking the law in order to accomplish it, accomplish the goal, get as much material on the ground as possible. If I didn't know the interbridge law, I would only get 2 loads of rock on the ground. Today we're going to try to do 3 and make my 4:30 appointment back in Savannah. I'll let you know. Well, I just dropped load number 2. It's 12 o'clock. We were expecting to be here at 1 o'clock, a 3-hour turnaround, but because we know how to get away with the interbridge rule, instead of only doing 2 loads today, right now we've left, what, 6 tons on the ground by cutting our load down a little bit. Well, we're going to go get a 3rd load for another 21.5 tons. So we're going to end up with 15 or 16 tons more on the ground than if we didn't know the rules. Hold on, I'll be right back. So it is taking about 2.5 hours a turn. So that puts us back here at 12:30. Oh, I'm sorry, at like 2:30, 3 o'clock, the latest. But really 2:30, 2:45. So I'm going to stop at Subway over here and grab me a chicken bacon ranch salad and take a few minutes to eat that, and then take my time, head on down, go get 1 more load and bring it on up. And I should be clocking out today at around 4 o'clock. So, and that's what I was hoping for, because it's about 45 minutes to get from here to the yard, and about an hour to get from here to the yard, fuel up, check the lights and tires, and put the truck to bed. So I'll clock out about 4. 3:45, 4 o'clock. That's a 12-hour day, and I will easily make it to my 4:30 appointment. And that's a wrap. So the big thing is, in today's video, you know, the lesson of the day is know the laws, know the regulations, know the rules, because they'll work for you. You know, don't think that they're out to burn you. If you know them, then you know how to lean on them and get, you know, as much as you can. And if you're an owner-operator or you have a fleet of trucks, educate your people. You know, let them know exactly what they can do. So that way your good drivers can use their best judgment on how to get what you need. And what I was told yesterday was go to, oh, I'm going to miss that one. Go to Brunswick with a load of sand in the morning and then get as much rock as you can. Okay? So to get as much rock as I can, I need to reduce my load, wait, take the highway, and I can add 15 tons of rock to my day. That's as much rock as I can. And that's just what I did. Well, that's what I'm doing. I got 1 more load to do. So unless we have a mechanical problem, this should be a wrap. Subway's right here. See how hard they make it? Look at this crap. They make things so difficult for us in big trucks to try to eat. You can't go to drive-thrus, of course, and then with COVID, a lot of people, well, I don't even want to say with COVID, with the government giving people money to stay home and vote Democrat, thank you, I said it, a lot of these places can't open their dining rooms. So I can't even pull into, say, a McDonald's or a Burger King or a Wendy's, a Zaxby's, or, you know, a freaking Chick-fil-A in most of these areas and get something to eat. Because the dining room's closed. So Subway's a viable option. And so I eat the hell out of it. I'll see you guys on the next one, guys. I appreciate you hanging out with me, and I hope you learned something.